Yo guys, what's up? It is Ripe again, back with more revenge stories. Today I am joined by a very special guest. Please introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Ripe's girlfriend. Nice to meet you. You can call me JB.
And JB will join us for some more commentary later, so without any further ado, let's dive right into the stories. And the first one is titled, Send My Neighbor a Glitter Bomb because he was a dickhead to me. I teach kids online, so naturally I have to be on the phone/video chatting with them. I am working one day and my neighbor decides to start blasting music and I instantly cannot hear my student anymore. So I go outside to ask him to turn it down. He has the speaker on his front step just cranked all the way up. Here is how the exchange went. Me, excuse me, can you turn down your music? I'm on the phone with a student and your music is a little loud. Him, surely right off the bat. So? Me, I'm on the phone, so I cannot hear my student. Him, so? Me, I'm trying to do my job. I'm working. So? So, can you please turn your music down?
Yeah, I'm effing doing it. Get back to your house.
He was confrontational and angry from the second I started talking and clearly had no intention of turning it down, so I just walked away, and as I am walking away, he was like,
You wanna do it like that? I will effing do it like that.
I was just so baffled that this guy would be such an a-hole for literally no reason immediately. I'm trying to do my damn job and he hurt my feelings, so F that guy. I mailed him a homemade glitter bomb, I folded it up and glued the edges so he will have to pull it open and the glitter will explode everywhere. And guys, the glitter bomb looked like this. To be honest, I think some people don't even notice when they disturb others, right?
Yes, you are right. Certainly, lack of self-awareness. And guys, please let us know in the comments if you have ever come across extremely inconsiderate people like in this story.
And furthermore, if you have watched until here, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments and also like the video if you would want to support us. Thank you very much in advance.
Thank you.
And guys, once again, I forgot to mention, the first one was from r/petty revenge as usual, and the next one is from r/regular revenge. And is titled, Boss Fires Me with Questionable Ethics, I Turn Her Career Upside Down. Many years ago, I accepted a job in an industry I was trying to break into for many years before. This was my first professional job and I was still pretty naive on the business dynamics, meaning I did not play the way they wanted me to. For many of the people I worked with, this was fine. My boss, Nina, was something else. I learned pretty quickly to just go with the flow and remain under her radar. This worked for a time before I could not handle it anymore. I will get to that shortly. Nina prided herself on
getting things handled when nobody else can.
This was likely because of how relentless she was. She believed she was friends with everybody, but I think most people were doing exactly like I was trying to keep her happy so she did not get worse. One such event was the placement of a new temporary, only in the fact that the company did not want to build a new structure, building. There were many questions raised about the legality of the placement, but Nina
worked her magic
and the building was placed right where she wanted it. This was ideal for her since she could pick the office with the best view. Keep in mind that this trailer was maybe 2 steps above a festival porta potty. The way she spoke about it, you would think she was describing the Sistine Chapel. And guys, please let me know in the comments if I pronounced that correctly or not. As time went on, I learned why this placement was so important to her. Her husband's company was contracted to perform the work. Ethics be damned. This did not sit well with me and I started noticing a trend in her contractor preferences. It always leaned towards those that used her husband's company. I tried to address this with her personally, which would only result in her
using her experience
to teach me that there are many aspects I do not understand for selecting contractors. I tried to bring this to the attention of people that could do something about it, but they all seemed to fear her as well. This facility has a lot of safety rules and for good reason with the number of hazards around. However, people had a habit of assuming a rule for a specific location of the facility applied to the entire facility. One being facial hair. Specific areas required respirators, so facial hair was not allowed. I did not work in any of those areas, nor anywhere remotely close to them. I still shaved regularly, but I wanted a bit of growth for my wedding. Months prior, I asked Nina if it was okay to grow it out for a month prior, and she agreed. We discussed it every 1 to 2 weeks until that month prior. The first Monday I showed up with a week's worth of growth, she lost her mind and began screaming at me. I stood up for myself without getting angry, and she continued to scream at me. Eventually, I relented and tried to defuse the situation. While I was able to get the safety departments to approve my beard, I still received a message that I was
youthfully defiant
from my boss. From that point forward, all conversations were strictly professional from me, little to no emotion, to the point, nothing personal. For the following months, Nina became much more critical of my work. Directions she sent me in email and either matched or exceeded her requirements were immediately rejected, and I had to recreate them with a new set of requirements. Literally, math became a point of contention. Nothing complex either, basic arithmetic was scrutinized to the point that I had to explain. And this is not a joke, 8 plus 1 equals 9. My days were obviously numbered. Earlier this year, I was rushed to the hospital for a possible heart attack. I am early 30s by the way. Ultimately, it was determined to be because of major work stress and my diet, and since I was forbidden from lunch in the end. After a few days in the hospital, my wife is given notification that I am being fired. To this day, I have not been given a reason for being fired. The problem for my now former boss is that I have plenty of free time now. The first part started when coworkers began reaching out to see how my health was, and I would suddenly mention being fired. If they asked, I would give as much detail without seeming malicious. This information started spreading quickly, and people began to put their walls around Nina. Evidently, I had built a decent relationship with my peers. My next step was to call the corporate ethics hotline and leave an anonymous message about her blatant conflicts of interest with applicable project names and rough dates, making sure to mention her husband and his company by name. The first sign that this call was effective came 2 weeks later when I learned that her Sistine Chapel had been condemned for being placed on a fault line and had to be vacated immediately. She was forced into a basement office with 2 other people. The good news for her is that she does not have to spend much time in that new office though. She is spending more than 50% of her time in a remote location in Alaska that requires at minimum 2 days of travel one way. Additionally, she has been denied a replacement for me. This means she must perform all duties I did on top of her normal tasks. Not a great deal when you are salaried. In the end, she has alienated herself and is receiving no support. She travels mostly on her own time and spends more time in an airport working than in her office. Meanwhile, I have accepted a great job that has significantly reduced my blood pressure. The last 5 years before retirement are going to be rough. I did not do much, but isn't the best revenge to live your best life?
Do you think it's worth it to work a job that might negatively affect your mental health even though you earn a lot of money?
Well, I think it depends. You might be able to work in such a job for maybe a few years, but it is not a good long-term idea if you ask me.
And guys, please let us know in the comments if you have ever worked a job that weighed heavily on your mental health and might have potentially negatively affected it.
And the last one is a juicy story from r/Pro Revenge and is titled Babysitter Goes to Jail. So I was roughly 10 or 11 at the time and in foster care. I have autism, not a bad case, and a disease called osteochondroma. So I could not play sports and my real parents did drugs. Also, I did not get taught the simple life skills that normal kids would know. My foster parent, she's not relevant to the story, had a babysitting job and had to hire another babysitter because of me, and the babysitter was half deaf. So let's get that out of the way. The babysitter hated me and I don't know why. So she would say,
"You're a stupid kid, you know that?"
or
"Really? I know kids younger than you who know how to do this.
She knew I had autism, but she did not seem to care that I had 2 disabilities. One time she crossed the line and I could not hold myself back. So she told me to take a shower, so I took it and went back down to tell her that I was done. She stared at me and said,
You did not take a shower. I did not hear it.
I reply, yes I did. It took 20 to 30 minutes. She rolled her eyes and gave me the death glare and almost yelled,
Take a damn shower, you autistic runt.
I rolled my eyes at that. She said that so many times that it is stuck in my brain till this day. So I go up and take another shower, a little bit shorter of a shower I might add, and tell her I took my shower. She looked at me again and said,
You did not take a shower. Showers take at least 20 minutes.
She gave me another death look and grinned a tiny bit.
I'm the adult. You need to go take a shower, or I will tell your mother.
This time she flat out smiled.
Or, do you even have a mother?
I was furious. It is one thing to make me take a shower 5 times, but nobody insults my mother. I turn on the shower faucet and just let the water run while I read a book. I read for about 40 minutes and then turned the water off and went down to tell her I was done. She finally says I can go and do whatever, so I go upstairs to do research on her. I get on my laptop and search up her name on Facebook. I find 2 or 3 results, but luckily the first one was my babysitter. I find out that she had been making fun of me on her page. So I get to reading. I eventually learn that she has 2 children that she also makes fun of. She was a jerk. 2 weeks go by and I am finally ready to take revenge. I learned she had not been paying for child support because her ex had taken the kids and I have got her now. I called the cops and told her about what I had found out. I also told them that I had followed her on Facebook and she admitted she had not been paying child support. They said that they would be there in 30 minutes. I waited 15 minutes, then I go downstairs to feed the flame. I told her I spilled my drink and she looked at me like I was the dumbest person on this planet.
Why are you telling me? Go upstairs and clean it up.
I tell her I'm just a stupid child and I need assistance.
I don't care. Go upstairs and clean it.
I told her no, that seemed to do it. She started fully yelling. Luckily my sister was not there. She told me I needed to clean it up or she would force me to. She got even louder, her face now bright red.
Go clean it up or I will beat you.
I tell her if she beats me, I will call the police. So she slaps me across the face hard. I hear the door open and my face lights up. I tell the cops she abused me and showed the red handprint on my face. They tell me to go upstairs and that they will deal with her. I listen very closely and they instantly took her away. It felt amazing. Now I did not have to deal with that bullcrap ever again. And I never did.
And guys, unfortunately, we have reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's format and
Thank you so much for watching. Bye. See you tomorrow.